Hey guys, techmadeezy, and thank you so much for clicking on our video. Well, here we are with a brand new Pecron E1500 Pro. Guys, this is a nicely sized 2000 watt power station packed with some nice features. It's got a rugged design, it's got 13 ways to power your appliances and your devices, plus it even has wireless charging, which is cool. In this review, I am going to unbox this. I'm going to show you what's included, and we're going to take a really close look at this power station. We are also doing testing. We're going to be powering multiple devices to test its capability, and we're even going to do our famous refrigerator test. I will also talk about pros and cons. So why don't we get started? Hi, this is Al from techmadeezy with a really quick message. The video you're about to watch is sponsored. We received this product from the vendor. But keep in mind, we will be very honest with you as we review the product. That is very important to us. If you like our video, I sure hope you give us a thumbs up. I hope you share our video. And last, I really hope you subscribe and become a part of the family. Thank you. All right, well, it's time for the unboxing. And there you go. So to the left side, we've got this 200 watt solar panel that's sold separately, but we're going to play with that and going to test it and see how it does. You get all these cables, which is nice, and they even give you a nice pouch. It doesn't seem flimsy at all. It's got a little handle on the top. It's got a little strap. It fits all those cables, so that's kind of nice to have. You get your warranty guide here. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on, so you're clear on the warranty they offer. We've got a user manual, a couple pages, not too bad. So we're going to look through that. We're really going to get to know this machine. Obviously, whenever we get something sent to us, sponsored, right, we're going to be honest. We're going to be upfront. We have no choice. And we tell these guys that too, you know, I mean, we just have to. But let's take a look at the cables real quick. Again, this is just a quick look, but you get a car charger in the box, barrel plug on one side. You get your solar cables with a proprietary connector on the other side there. All right, we'll go over this. We'll test it. It looks like it screws right in. You get a Anderson adapter. So again, plugs into that special adapter, and there's an Anderson right there. You get the power brick is built in, so you have this nice AC cord. It's so good to see these guys putting the AC brick inside the machine. You know, one less thing, right? And then you get alligator clips, all right? Seem kind of beefy. Yeah, wow, pretty strong too. And this is an XT60, so this machine looks like it's got a lot of ports. It looks like a real nice size too. Wireless charging on the top. We're very excited. So let's move forward. And what we're going to do is some close-ups. We're going to review all of the ports and the outlets and go from there. Now, as I said before, this is the newer model, the E1500 Pro. This is currently selling for $1,099 at the time of our review. And honestly, I think that's a really sweet price point given the size and the power capabilities. So let's take a close look at the unit, and then we'll take time, you know, going over the ports and things in the front here. So on the E1500 Pro, you've got on the side 2 fans. You've got rubber on all 4 corners, and this is thick rubber, by the way. This is not thin, so it's pretty darn thick. It seems put on well. It doesn't look like it's going to come off anytime soon. On the handles, you've got plenty of room for your hands, and you've got plastic, but then it's got rubber on it for grip. You can see here on the bottom, You've got rubber on it for grips. I like that. The back is pretty plain. Going back to the side, again, for your ventilation, rubber handle. If we go to the top, we'll notice the wireless charger. But 15-watt wireless charger, compatible with, phones that are less than 15 watts, which is nice. Let's take time and go over the bottom real quick. So if I turn this upside down for a moment, just to show you, you do have some specifications down here on the bottom. So helpful specifications. And that's our close look. We'll take a moment and go over the ports. More basics real quick. So 2000 watts surges to 4000 watts. This is a lithium ion chemistry battery. It is not lithium iron phosphate. The watt hour capacity is 1450. And I will have some detailed specs towards the end of the video if you'd like to see those. So let's take a look at the ports, and we're going to start off here at the DC input section. So with DC input, that means that you can use this solar cable that they give you with the MC4s, and then the other end would actually plug in to this here, and then it would actually get screwed on. So that's the solar cable connection there. Now in this same port, you also have an Anderson input. Now I don't have an RV and I've not used Anderson, but plugging this in now gives you the option to charge this via an Anderson port. So you do get that cable, which is nice. If you're going to charge this with a car charger, you get a car charger and it plugs into the barrel port right here. So that is your DC input section. As we go down to AC input, you've got a fuse, and you've got the section here where you plug in the AC cable they give you. And what's really nice is this does not have a power brick. So that's huge. You don't got a big power brick to carry around. You just plug the cable in, plug it into the wall, and charge away. Love that. Moving on to AC output, we've got 3 2000 watt wall outlets, and then it surges to 4000 watts. Love that. Now we're going to move to DC output. As we look at DC output, I want you to see that there's an XT60 on here. I was like, what is an XT60 used for? Well, pretty unique. Again, I've done a couple of power station reviews. First time I'm bumping into alligator clips that are included. You can plug this into the XT60 right there, and you can actually output power from this to a car battery, not jump it, but actually charge a car battery using this power station with these included cables. That's pretty darn cool, I have to say. You also have a 5525 barrel port. Again, in some cases there are appliances that would use that. Of course, you know the car charger, we all do, right? So you plug in your car charger, it's got a nice cover. As we go down, you have a 100 watt USB Type-C, 18 watt USB Type-C, 18 watt USB Type-A, which is a quick charge, and then 3 standard USB Type-A's. That's pretty cool. You get a lot for your money with this power station, a lot of different ways to charge. Let me go ahead and show you wireless charging. Now, in order to use wireless charging, you have to turn on DC. And all you do is take your phone, put it on top, and you'll see the wattage start to kick in, showing wireless charging is working. Now let's do that with the iPhone as well. So the iPhone is off currently. Let's just put it down for a second and give it a moment. There it goes. It's kicking in. The phone's turning on. Wireless charging is working. One thing I want to tell you is wireless charging does not work with cases unless you have a real thin one. And again, I don't have a thin one, but I can't get wireless charging to work with my Samsung Fold case, and I can't get it to work with my case on my iPhone. So we are outside in the outside studio, a very professional outside studio. We are going to plug in the Pecron solar panel and just check that out. How does it get connected? What type of wattage does it actually give the power station? And we're also going to need, in this Pecron bag that they give you, we are going to need a special cable. We're going to need the solar cable. Now this solar cable, just so you'll know, does connect, to a specific port, more of a proprietary port. It'll connect over here to this guy. So we'll connect it, we'll show you, let's see how it goes. So let's take a moment and just kind of check this out and see what it looks like. I mean, the casing looks nice. It's got really strong Velcro. It's got kickstands. That's interesting. It is a 200 watt panel, by the way. Cell efficiency, they say, is 21%. 5.5 amp. Power voltage 36 volt. So open circuit voltage is 43.2. That's pretty high. That's a 200 watt. That's why. And your short circuit current is your 5.8. So let's spread this out and take a look at it, and then we'll set it up obviously as well so you can see it. So there are 4 panels. Okay, so it's got 4 panels. Let's lay this out and see what it looks like. Here's the back pouch to the panel. Let's open this up and just kind of see what we got going on here. So look at that. It looks like, I have to take measurements, but it looks like they give you a long cable. That's really nice. So I'll get this measured, and then what I'll do is I'll put the measurements there on the cable length, because I'm impressed. A lot of manufacturers don't have longer cables. They have really short cables. So I'll measure that. So I just measured this. They're giving you a 16-foot cable on a solar panel. That is really nice. You just open this guy up. It's got a notch. You take this, you put it in all the way, and then you tighten it. It's tight, it's ready to go. Let's see what happens here. I just plugged it in, so let's see now if it starts to recognize the wattage. 1 watt, 13, 26. So it's going up. That's a 200 watt panel. Let's see what we get. And I'll tell you now, with no clouds in the sky, and that is angled the best it can be angled, okay? We're going up. We're going up. Ah, that's not bad. I mean, I don't know if that's it, but 143 watts out of a 200 watt panel is really good. Now it says it'll take 2 hours to charge from 82% to full. And in the specs, we'll have the charge times, whether it's AC, DC, solar. But we're sitting strong at 143. And that panel is really set up real nice. And we have no clouds in the sky right now. So that's really, really good. And still 143. Wow, nice. Let's take a look at the back also so you could see the kickstands, right? I mean, I like these. You know, a lot of manufacturers, but you get one on each panel. And this allows you to angle the solar panel, which is really nice. You know, so they're adjustable. They've got some, you know, straps in here that'll hold them on. You got Velcro when you're done. But I like that you can move these, and they're very adjustable. You know, and initially I wasn't impressed by these initially as far as other solar panels, but I see the value now, really, because angling your panel is really important. So I like that. 10 minutes after 5, and the next test now is how fast can we get this charged. It's currently at 0%. Let's have it kick on, and then we'll come back and check it. 0%. Let's see how long it takes to charge. Look at that tail. That is one happy dog. And guess what? It is 30 minutes since we started. We're 38% charged. And this thing is pumping 1129 watts into this thing. 1 hour in, it is now 6:10 p.m. We are at 72% charge with 1100 and some odd watts being pumped into this thing. 1 hour, 35 minutes, 96%, 607 watts going in. 6:52 p.m., 100%. Now, the only thing that I get weird about is it's still pumping in wattage. So I don't know how it's 100% and pumping in 657 watts. So that's one of the cons I'll share with you at the end. Still going. I see the wattage went down to 300 and change. 10 after 7, I guess that'll be the final time for charging. I'll put the time up in the upper left-hand corner. It just stopped charging. Can the Pecron handle a vac of this size? Well, let's find out. She's plugged in. Let's see how she does. Let's turn her on and find out. So the next question is, can it handle a 13 amp circular saw? Well, we'll find out. And I'm going to cut this wood on the sawhorses that I got here. I did a review on these. I love these. And I'll put a link in the description because you've got to check these out. But let's go ahead and just put a little load on here and see if it can handle it. All right, let's just put a little load on here and see what happens. Let's push it a little bit. Can she handle the circular saw and the vac at the same time? Let's find out. Nope. So we are going to now test the UPS function on this power station. Right now, as you can see, the UPS function is off. So what happens is I have a switch on this wall that's going to turn power onto that outlet that's there. And that outlet has the cord connected to the power station. And then this light is actually plugged in here. And I think a light's great because if you really see a dim, then you know. I'm not really counting milliseconds here, but I think it's helpful for you to see. So let me turn on the UPS function. So I'm going to hit this switch, and then you're going to see it'll take a moment. It recognized power, plug, and then you'll see UPS show up there. So UPS is now active. And what we're going to do now is we're going to watch the UPS, and we're going to watch the light. I'm going to try to leave the camera here, and I'm going to hit this switch. And I just want you to see on the count of 3 basically what happened. So 1, 2, 3. So you heard the click. You didn't see any big dim in the light. And hopefully you saw the UPS disappear from that corner. So right now it is powered. The light is powered by the power station. So if I unplug this now, the light, the switch is off. And obviously if I unplug the light or turn off AC, so I'll turn off AC so I could show you that the light is actually connected to the power station. Turn it back on. And there's the light. So we'll do it one more time. Ready? I'm going to turn on the UPS. The plug is there. UPS will show up right there in a moment. There it goes. And we're going to turn it off in the count of 3 real quick. 1, 2, 3. You heard the click. You didn't see any big dim whatsoever. And the UPS is off. That's pretty cool. It works pretty well. I wish I could really find a way to get the milliseconds, but they're saying 8 to 20 milliseconds. We are going to do our full-size refrigerator test with the Pecron E1500 Pro. It's 10 o'clock at night, so we're going to turn on AC. And by the way, power is off on the refrigerator. We're going to turn on AC. We're going to see what wattage the refrigerator pulls initially when it first turns on. 7, 13, 75, 108. So 108 watts so far. It's 10 o'clock at night. Let's see how long the Pecron lasts with this full-size refrigerator. And by the way, I'm going to put a sheet right here on the right side of the screen showing you the specs to the refrigerator. It is a 2021 refrigerator, so it's fairly new. It doesn't consume a lot of power, and it's always on. So keep in mind, we didn't just turn this on after being off. It's full of food. We use it a lot, me, my fiance, and the 2 boys. So 10 o'clock at night, let's see how long the Pecron can power the refrigerator. And it is 10 o'clock at night on a Friday. Well, good morning. It is Saturday, 7:30 in the morning. We're 9.5 hours into this test. I'm making some coffee. I need that. Oh, wow. So 7:30 in the morning, and we have 51% of the battery left. Think about that. 9.5 hours, and this thing is still going. All right, the refrigerator's on. I'm going to grab my favorite creamer. I don't know if you guys like that. Oh, boy. But 51% of the battery is left. We'll keep checking. But, that pretty much tells us that we're going to get some good time. All right, it is 11:30 in the morning on Saturday. We are 13.5 hours into this test. We have 44% battery left, with 59 watts being used by the refrigerator. So we are still on day 2, and we are now 16.5 hours into this test. We have 34% battery left. Now this is saying 14 hours, but that's not going to be correct because currently there's no wattage going out from the refrigerator. Obviously it is plugged in, it's on, it is a newer, more efficient refrigerator. We are almost 18 hours into this test. We've got 26% on the battery and 11 watts being used. The next time you see this, we'll have our final call on what time and how long it powered the refrigerator. 19 hours and 4 minutes. And the test is over. This is dead. Got to plug the refrigerator back in now. That's not bad. 19 hours and 5 minutes. This can do a whole lot more than power your refrigerator. If your power was out, could you use the Pecron to actually make you a cup of coffee? Well, we're going to find out because we're going to be using the K Supreme Plus Smart. Yep, it's a smart coffee maker. Oh boy. We're currently using 13 watts because we are wirelessly charging our iPhone. So while we're charging our iPhone, let's turn this on for a minute. Actually, let's turn the AC on. All right, it's going to light up the coffee maker for a moment because it's getting power, so it should light up in a second. Now I'm going to open this up. Just get it started. I'm going to close this. I'm just going to wait for it to be ready, and I'm trying to watch the wattage at the same time. So the coffee maker is ready to make a cup of coffee. And let's turn this and watch wattage. I'm going to hit 8, light up the screen, hit the K button, and let's see how much wattage it uses. 1087, 1436. The highest. All right, right now, yeah, 1436 is the highest. And it is making a cup of coffee. So look at that, 1436 watts. That's probably the surge, right? Because it's using about 1,000 watts to make the cup of coffee. Or 1,200, depending. Isn't that something? I mean, so let's wait until the coffee is finished. And now we have proof that the Pecron E1500 Pro can make you a cup of coffee. The fan is on, by the way, if you can hear that. There you go. It dropped down to 0 now because it's done. And we're still using DC to charge our iPhone. We got coffee. And the fan turned off. So during a power outage, we don't normally use a microwave. But I think it's just interesting to see if it could handle it. This is an 1100 watt microwave. What I'll do is we'll turn on the AC. And give it a second, the power kicks in. There you go. Let's take our small popcorn bag. And this runs about a minute and change, but let's go ahead and put that in. And let's hit 2, but before, okay, so it's 14 watts. Let's watch the wattage. I'm going to hit 2, which is 2 minutes. There you go. We're going up. 993, 1583, 1573. So we are making popcorn, and this 1100 watt microwave actually 1588. Wow. So let's keep that screen on. But 1588 I think was the highest. It is now making popcorn. I hope I'm not making you hungry. I need popcorn once in a while, so I actually buy the small bags because I don't want to sit there with a big bag. Although I have the big bags when it's me, my fiance, and the boys. So look at that, consistently 1500 and change. All right, making this popcorn. I'll tell you, that's a lot of power. So, as you can see, it makes popcorn. I smelled popcorn. I had to take it out. But here it goes. I mean, now this is a little hot, so you got to be careful. And don't breathe in these fumes, by the way. They say the fumes coming out of these bags isn't good for you. I mean, microwave popcorn's not that good for you. A lot of things aren't that good for you, but there you go. Freshly popped popcorn. The Pecron E1500 Pro did it. So the next test is, since this has a 2000 watt inverter, can we get 2000 watts out of it? Well, let's try. Let's go ahead and turn on the AC. I'm going to turn off the DC. Now we got 73% battery. We're going to plug in a dual charger. an Ego dual charger. We'll watch the wattage for a minute, and then we'll try a few more things. So we have 400 watts already, charging 2 batteries. All right, 440. Why don't we connect another charger? This is a 700 watt fast charger. So let's try that. Let's see what we get. All right, that's on. And 500, 600, 700 coming up. There you go. So we're going up. All right, 800, 900. No problems so far. No overheating. Nothing like that. Fan kicked on. We're close to 1,000 watts right now. Now let's plug in a heating gun. Why don't we? We've got 2 speeds with our Wagner heating gun. I'll put that there and make sure it stays up. Let's plug in the heating gun and we'll try it at low setting. And we're going to turn on low. 1,465 watts. So far, no problems. Again, no temperature warnings here. Handling it like a pro. Why don't we try high? Now, the only problem is I think high is going to put us over 2,000 watts. But we'll try it out. Let's put this on high. And keep an eye and see what happens here. All right, 2,120 something watts. Well, it's running it. I mean, it's a 2,000 watt inverter with a 4,000 watt surge. But it's running it. Wow. That's pretty nice. That's pretty hot. Guys, this is running a, over 2,000 watts. That's pretty cool. I say that's a good test. 2,126 watts. No issues. It's time for us to go over our cons and our pros. And we're going to start in that order. So I'm going to start off with the cons. Number one, there's no app for this device, so you won't be able to do firmware updates, and you will not be able to control this remotely, whether it's Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Now, another con is the screen. There's no way for you to control having it on, having it off, and for how long, whether it's a button on the device or obviously an app would be able to do that. So to me, that's a con. Now, the other con connected to the screen is it does stay on, and to me, I'm afraid of burn-in, and I'm afraid that that screen might go bad long term because it does stay on. It never turns off unless the unit is off. So that's another con. The charging concern I have with this is when we charge this and it hits 100%, like we showed you in the video, it's still pumping 500 watts into this thing for minutes and minutes and minutes. So I would like this to be 100% and stop charging, but it does charge for, I don't know if it was 10 to 15 minutes more. It just kept charging and charging, and I'm like, wait, it says 100%. I want to use this now, and I couldn't. The last con would be that it's not expandable, but it does have some good power. Now let's go ahead and talk about our pros. The first pro I'd like to share with you is I really like the design. I like the rugged design especially. These things are pretty thick, the rubber on each of the corners. I do believe if it did take a fall, it probably could survive. It just depends on how big of a fall. But I do like the rugged design. I like the look of the device. I also like the carry handles on the top, as you saw in the beginning of the video. They're in there, they're strong, they just give you a good grip when you're going to lift this unit. So I like that. Another thing I really like that should probably be number one is this thing has a really strong cooling fan, and it stays on most of the time. It'll turn off from time to time, but this thing really keeps it cool. It seems like a really strong cooling fan. So I like that. That's important because it's going to keep the unit and the batteries cooler, which will prolong the life of this machine. Another pro is it has wireless charging. You saw us, we tested that, so I like the wireless charging on this. And the last pro is this thing is powerful. You know, for the cost, this thing did very well during our testing. It didn't overheat, and it powered many devices with no issue whatsoever. So, just wanted to share that. So my overall thoughts on this, I was pleasantly impressed with how well this worked. This is my first Pecron power station, and it was a good experience. And I was able to interact with them and get questions answered, so I like that. I like the design. I like the wireless charging. I like that it's rugged. It doesn't feel flimsy. This thing did not feel cheap at all. I like that the power supply is built in, by the way. I should have included that in my pros. And I do believe this is priced right. You know, right now it's $1,099, and you're getting a 2,000 watt power station. So we're going to put some links in the description. I really hope you liked this review. You found it helpful in a couple of ways, because that is our goal. If you did, give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. It really does. And if you're not a subscriber, take a moment. Subscribe, become a member of the family. Brooklyn and I will see you. You'll see Brooklyn. You'll see my hands. And then also share our video. Share it with your friends, your family, and even put it in some group chats if you'd like. Guys, thank you so much. Hey guys, take a moment and give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. As you can see, Brooklyn, she's waving her tail for you. Take a moment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell and you'll get notified of new videos we come out with. Also, follow us and contact us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.